So for today's movie review, I'll be reviewing the movie Pacific Rim. And yeah, that's really about it for my little intro. Now, as for the plot of Pacific Rim, basically these giant monsters called Kaiju start appearing from our oceans and attack basically cities here and there. Then basically the world governments band together and decide to build these giant robots called Jaegers and fight back against Kaiju. That's really about it for the plot. At least the general plot. Now, the actual plot of Pacific Rim is about this washed up Jaeger pilot who essentially wants to find redemption, and he essentially teams up with this Jaeger trainee and they essentially join forces with the remaining Jaeger pilots because there's only so many Jaegers left, and they basically plan to put an end to the whole Kaiju war once and for all because they're discovering that they're losing the war. Now, what I liked about Pacific Rim is that it's not an adaptation of a movie, it's not a remake, a reboot, a prequel, a sequel. It's just its own original idea. Now, I know that the whole giant robot versus giant monster thing has been done before, but I think of the movies that are coming out like this past couple years, because movies have been either adaptations, remakes, reboots, sequels, prequels, so on and so forth. It's just nice to see something that's somewhat original that's been coming out lately. And the CGI in this movie is just amazing. From the Jaegers to the Kaijus. Hell, the water itself was just beautiful to stare at. I found it to be very calming, actually. Also like the Jaeger designs, because each one's like, oh, like, yeah, this Jaeger was supposed to represent America, this one's supposed to be representing China, Australia,
Russia,
so on and so forth. Same with the Kaijus. They basically mimics like real life animals, like, oh, a gorilla, a shark, crocodile, a crab, and it just looks so real. Now, what I didn't like about Pacific Rim, I felt that there was some parts of the movie that were really corny, although I felt that the corniness of the movie, I think, was intentional. Then I felt there was some plot points in the movie that are like, oh, this happens in the movie, but then it kind of leads nowheres. Or I felt that was really irrelevant, like the baby Kaiju. I could have done without that, but it's actually, I guess, a major plot point for the film if you haven't seen it yet. And I can't think that they overhyped some of the Jaegers, like, oh, for example, like Crimson Typhoon and Chirco Alpha. They're basically like, oh, these two are very powerful Jaegers, yet they get taken down like a bitch in a matter of seconds. I kind of wanted to see more screen time with those Jaegers, because you're mainly focused on Gypsy Danger and Striker Eureka. Now, as for the characters, I don't really know half the cast of the movie, aside from Ron Perlman, and I forget the actor's actual name, but he played Heimdall in Thor. Like, besides those two actors, everyone else I'm not really familiar with. Now, as for the main character of the movie, I didn't really like him as a main character because I did not feel emotionally connected to him. Like, I think I felt more connected to the Japanese girl there than I did him, and I just didn't really find his character interesting. I like the motivation of seeking redemption, but beyond that, nothing much really. And speaking of the Japanese girl, I kind of wished that she was the main character because I could relate more to her than I could the main character, and I felt that she was a bit more main character material than the washed up Jaeger pilot. But for like Heimdall's character, he actually plays a bigger role than I first thought in this whole movie. Like, he's responsible for some of the events that happened in the film. I'm not gonna say which events, but
he's pretty cool and he's really OP as a Jaeger pilot.
I felt that the only characters that bugged me for a bit were the two dudes playing the scientists. Like, I thought their characters were good, I just felt that anytime they spoke really fast. Like, sometimes I didn't understand a word they said here and there, but I felt that they said it at a slower pace. I would have liked him a bit more. Now, Ron Perlman's character, he plays like a pimped out black market dealer. He was pretty chill, but for some reason I just felt he was out of place. I can't really name why he was felt out of place, but he just did. But aside that, I thought everyone did a good job. Now, as for my final verdict on Pacific Rim, I liked the plot. However, I felt that
some of the plot points
were really corny and had some plot elements that were really irrelevant. CGI is beautiful, but I felt I wanted to see more screen time from Jaegers, Chirco Alpha, and Crimson Typhoon, and seeing more screen time with the Kaiju as well. As for the characters, despite not knowing half the cast, I thought they did a really good job of playing the characters. Although I felt that the two guys playing the scientists spoke too fast a bit, and Ron Perlman's character just felt out of place. Now, before I give my final review, what does everyone else have to say about Pacific Rim? So it looks like everybody give good reviews for Pacific Rim, and I give Pacific Rim a 4 out of 5. It was fucking awesome. I recommend seeing it. And among the Jaegers and our Kaijus that you saw in the film, which one was your favorite? And see you later.